Menopausal and perimenopausal women, listen up. It's time to take control of your health and comfort, and Winona is here to help. Winona is a telemedicine company for menopause care who believes that your symptoms are real, important, and deserve to be taken seriously. And for many women, this starts with hormone replacement therapy. Winona's HRT is made with plant-based, bioidentical hormones rather than synthetic ones, so it better aligns with your body to offer relief from hot flashes, weight gain, and other uncomfortable symptoms. 80% of women who use Winona find relief within just 90 days. So, what are you waiting for? Get started today. Visit buywinona.com today to start your free visit. With free shipping and the ability to pause or cancel at any time, your path to wellness has zero obligations. Use code SPRING24 at buywinona.com for 25% off your first treatment plan. That's BYWINONA.com for 25% off. Winona, menopause care made easy. Summer is the season of hot temperatures, outdoor adventures, and refreshing water activities. Summer is also the season of rough on your feet, causing dry, cracked heels and toes. Introducing Babyfoot, the original exfoliation foot peel that contains 16 natural extracts formulated to remove dead skin cells in 3 easy steps. Apply the booties, relax for an hour, then wash your feet. In 14 days, you've got baby smooth skin and your feet have never been softer. Letting dead skin cells build up over time is hazardous to your foot health. Our professional-grade DIY products, like our original exfoliation foot peel, our men's foot peel, or our moisturizing mask, are some of the best foot care products on the market, created with your foot health in mind. Pamper yourself with a spa day from the comfort and convenience of your own home with Babyfoot. If you want a chemical-free, easy-to-use exfoliating process from the company that created the original foot peel, it's time to treat yourself to Babyfoot. Go to babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24 and get 20% off your first order with Babyfoot. That's babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24.
Hello, and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast that reviews romance novels $5 and under. I'm your host, Becky Feldman, and bienvenue en France. That was my perfect French pronunciation of Welcome to France, because today my special guest and I are reviewing a spy versus spy historical romance that takes place during Napoleon's reign. The book we are discussing is The Spymaster's Lady by Joanna Bourne. It is the first book in the Spymaster series, and it is currently $2.99. It's the love story of 2 opposing spies, one loyal to France and the other loyal to England. And if you ask moi, that is quite the conflict. I'm so excited about my guest today. He's an old UCB friend of mine and the funniest and most talented person I know, writer-director Ryan Perez. So put on that fake mustache and enjoy this review of The Spymaster's Lady. Well, Ryan, welcome to Too Stupid to Live.
Thank you so much, Becky. It's a big day. This is a big day.
It's a big day. I'm so excited that
I think
on the show.
It's a big day for the listeners.
Oh my God,
Yes.
they're on their knees.
They've been waiting for me to weigh in.
I mean, they are so excited that you're here. So I typically ask my guests, have you ever, before this book, read a romance novel before?
I have had my brushes with the romance genre over the years. I don't, I'm not, in terms of like the Harlequin novel proper.
Yes.
I've never gotten that deep into. Growing up, my older sister had a lot of V.C. Andrews novels, which I know that you've covered here.
Yes, yeah.
So there were a handful of them that I read all or parts of. Web of Dreams and a Heaven was, and then Flowers in the Attic, of course, which is not really a romance novel, but they're sort of in this world. Yeah,
there's like saucy kind of tittillating scenes in
exactly.
it, which these books have.
And then around the age of, probably 10, 12 years old, someone told me that that these supermarket novels had basically like what were very descriptive sex scenes in them. And so when in the supermarket, I would usually be, my mom would say, oh, just whatever, look at magazines or whatever. Yeah. And I would look at the magazines, but then I would get into those romance novels. Nice. And so I probably read at a very young age about, I don't know, 10, 20 books worth of sex scenes just waiting for my mom to shop. And so there you read a lot about throbbing and members and, quivering mounds and everything. But it was purely, it was not for the romance. It was purely for the erotica.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You just skip to the sexy parts.
Yeah.
Is there like any like book that you remember vividly?
Of those, I mean, honestly, it's like it's a bunch of them, and it's a big blur of of books. In recent years, for years and years, this was not a romance specifically, or even erotica. I wasn't really interested in, and then it sort of reignited in recent years with I became really interested in D.H. Lawrence.
Okay.
So for me, I mean, in terms of erotic books, the books that and I really do love Lady Chatterley's Lover and Women in Love, and in recent years, these are kind of books that have fascinated me, and it's kind of I've been sort of I would say in the realm of erotic fiction or whatever fiction that has romantic or erotic undertones. That's where I those are the books I like.
Nice. Do you think you're a romantic person?
No, I've been myself my whole life. So.
Is there something though that like is a gesture of romance, whether it's in a movie or some sort of anecdote from real life that like has stuck with you?
Well, I'm a prickly pear because when I was younger, I saw in very quick succession, like probably 12, 13 years old, I saw 3 movies. The Remains of the Day, Howard's End, and The Age of Innocence that were all sort of period romances to a certain degree, unrequited, very frustrating, Victorian values, if not necessarily a Victorian setting. And so I kind of absorbed that as the way that romance is, like for me, that's romantic. The idea of like doomed romance to this day is still very romantic. I think when I got a little bit older, I liked Jerry Maguire. I thought that was like a romantic movie.
It was.
But I mean, I've honestly seen. I had growing up. I probably because I have sisters. I watched every romantic comedy. I've seen all of them, pretty much. But only a handful of them. I liked. I remember liking Jerry Maguire. I remember liking the James L. Brooks movies to a certain degree, as good as it gets, and what was the other? Broadcast News. But all these are kind of they all have an edge of doom to them.
Yeah.
And so, in terms of gestures, there's one line. I was thinking about this at the end of this book. There's one line. There's a Terrence Rattigan play called The Winslow Boy, which has been adapted a couple times. And it's about a boy that steals some money, and his older sister, whatever, is helping him get off of this charge with the help of a lawyer, and she's involved in feminism at the time. This is, I guess, in turn of the century England, and at the end of the book, the lawyer says to her, I like this line. I've tried to steal this line multiple times in writing things because I don't know how to write romance at all.
Right.
But the lawyer, she's involved in feminist activities, and the lawyer says to her, this is the very last line of the entire play. He says, it's a pity you do that feminist stuff. You should. It's a lost cause, feminism. And she says, "Well, goodbye. Well, I don't think I'm going to be seeing you much anymore. You know very little of women. Goodbye. We won't be seeing each other much anymore." And the lawyer says to her, to Miss Winslow, "How little you know of men." So how little you know of women, how little you know of men, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. And I like that. I like that. I like a nice unfulfilled romance.
Yeah,
the promise of romance is always better than anything that it could deliver. Really.
Right. Yeah. I think I agree with that. I think with I like lines like in Jerry Maguire, like The Apartment, when they say I love you, but they don't say I love you. So like, you complete me. Or at the end of The Apartment when she's like, shut up and deal. Like, it's like saying I love you without I don't know, just like being too like sentimental or something.
Yeah,
It's
The
very
Apartment
real.
is a fantastic movie for that reason, and I think a very romantic movie for that reason. I that's just the way that my particular slant is to more indirect, ambiguous kind of endings as opposed to happily ever after kind of stories, which is a hallmark. I know happily ever after is kind of a hallmark of Harlequin books and a lot of romance books.
I'm thinking even at the end of like that one season of The Office where it ends, it was Jim and Pam finally get together, and it just ends with, "Do you want to get dinner tonight?" or something.
Yeah.
And like the show could have ended right there because it's just like it ends on the promise of them getting together.
Yeah, I think promise is really. It's like The Office is a wonderful example of this, where you're dealing with tension. You're dealing with like a lot of tension for years and years and years, and then the fulfillment of that tension it becomes this almost grotesque thing where you're watching this couple then for 4 years just live out their boring relationship on TV, and it's lame, and it's like other couples and it's like they're going to IKEA together and struggle or whatever, and you're like, this sucks. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch them together. I want to watch them. I want to watch them in pursuit. I want to watch that struggle.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah.
The problem is that I think I've translated this in my life. I think in my life in my life all I want is struggle. So so it's not a good way to live.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You should. I mean, look, it's romantic though, so that's I like that.
Yeah, I think it's a good way. I think it's a good way to live.
So I read romance to kind of escape my daily life. It's a story. I know how it's going to end. Everything's simple. Is there something that you like that kind of falls into that same category?
I don't know. I mean, with books, I tend to alternate back and forth between something heavy and something light. Yeah. So, I'll go and I'll read, a kind of unserious spy novel or adventure story, and then alternate that with something with, whatever. Right now I'm trying to read Anna Karenina, which is, a little bit tough at times,
Yeah, I think that was a high school read for me. I don't remember. Yeah, that's tough.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go back and do a lot of canon reading. As a nearly old man, I'm like, I could sit down and read Moby Dick for the first time.
Good for you, man. I don't think I'm ever going to read Moby. I just decided, I don't know if I'm ever going to read that book. I just can't.
That's next on the list.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I don't know. I mean, in terms of like a lot of television is this way, but I'm not really into prestige TV so much or anything like that. I recently watched Succession, which was rare for me to like finish all 10 episodes of a show, and I realize why people like it. It's because you can sort of watch it and be on your phone at the same time.
Yeah,
and so that's what all entertainment is now. Is can I halfway be on my phone? Yeah. And watch it, which is why a lot of people don't. You'll say to someone like, "We're going to go to the movies," and they'll say, "How long is the movie?" You'll say, "Oh, it's a 2 hour and 45-minute movie," and they'll say, "No way! There's no way I'm going to do that." Yeah, but they'll watch 7 hours of a show, and it's just because they can be on their phone and they can clean up the house and they can do a lot of stuff like that. So there's not that, and I watch baseball sometimes. And so that's
I assume you're a Dodgers fan.
I do. Okay. I do like the Dodgers, but I kind of tend to change allegiances, through the years. Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking about allegiances.
Oh my gosh.
Was that a good segue or what? Should we get into the Spymaster's Lady?
Well, I would love to get into Joanna Bourne's The Spymaster's Lady.
Yeah, The Spymaster's Lady. I'll just read a quick synopsis. Published in 2008, currently $2.99 on Amazon. Okay. You can correct me if I pronounce anything wrong. Okay. She's known as the Fox Cub for a reason. French spy Annick Villiers has spent her entire life outsmarting her enemies. But when she's trusted with protecting Napoleon's top secret Albion plans, did I say that right?
I think so.
Okay, good.
In my head, I probably said Albion the whole time.
Albion's probably right. She faces a danger she never thought she'd encounter, falling in love with the hard-bodied British spymaster Robert Gray.
Wow.
All right. Do you want to describe the cover of the book for us and give us your thoughts?
Sure. I know it depends. I know you listeners out there might get different editions.
That's right. Yeah, there are different editions. I did notice. Yeah.
So, but if this is, I assume this is like I have the hardcover original. You said 2008?
2008, I believe. Yeah, I think this is the first cover. It's the cover on Amazon. So I think this might be the one that people would be looking at.
So this cover features a handsome, sort of almost like Adrian Grenier kind of man.
Wait, is that the guy from Entourage?
The guy from Entourage.
Okay, got it.
And it's he's got his shirt open and he's wearing, I think, khakis. But he's showing his chest. You know what? What strikes me about this is that the description of Gray in the book is that he's an ugly man.
Yes, I know.
And this is, I think, a decidedly not ugly man.
Right. Yeah.
On the cover. And so I think the cover might be a slight betrayal.
I agree.
Of the author's intention, which is to kind of build a romance around a very strong, ugly man.
Yeah, we definitely see strength. I'm not the biggest fan of this cover because it's like he's just walking in a field with his shirt open. Like, what is he doing? What's the scene? Did he just finish up having sex with Anik? Is he going to the river to bathe himself? Like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And I completely agree about the ugly thing. And it kind of confused me because I was like, well, is he ugly for pretty? You know how there's like ugly for pretty people, where it's like they're still pretty, but they have like something about them that's ugly.
Yeah, it's like they're a beautiful person, but they have a scar.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was like. Oh, maybe because he does have a scar. Doesn't he have a scar like on his wrist or somewhere? Or
yeah. He has a lot of scars on his chest.
Right.
Many have tried to kill Gray
when they did
over the years, but they have not. Oh, this is a man who has been hunted.
Okay, did you come up with a tagline for the book?
I did, and I thought, and this is a I'm gonna go with Mr. Gray will see you now. Because if it worked for 50 Shades of Grey, I think it should work for Spymaster's Lady.
I agree.
Yes.
That was perfect.
That's what I'm going to go with.
I love it. I love it. I chose The Game Ends When Love Begins. Because they're talking about the game. It's a game. They live in a game.
So many references to the game. That's brilliant. The game ends when love begins.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's terrific. What is the tagline? Do they have a tagline?
I don't think they do. I mean, they have.
My cover, the inside, the leaf or what?
I should say Ryan got the hardcover version of this book.
For all the hard bodies. She's never met a man she couldn't deceive. I think is maybe the closest thing to a.
Oh, that is the tagline. Yeah.
In mine. I like the game though. I like some reference to the game because it really is a game.
Yeah. And it was cool. Well, would you want to read an excerpt from the book? But let's set it up and let us know where we are in the story.
Well, yes. You're getting really. Well, I would say Joanna Bourne is getting incredible value over here because I have one of the great voices in all of. It's all of reading.
Well,
I think.
Yeah. I mean. First of all, everyone, you're welcome for what is about to happen.
Yeah. I'm going to do something. I'm going to throw a curveball here and read not a love scene, but read a scene in which, Anik?
Yes, I think it's Anik, right?
Anik, yeah. I will call her Anik. She's traveling with what are essentially her captors, Gray, Adrian, and Doyle.
Yeah.
So 3 British spies. She's in their captivity, and it's sort of like a road book for a nice long stretch.
Yeah.
And as we join all these characters in the beginning, Adrian, who's the youngest British spy that is her captor, has a piece of metal in him, has a bullet in him, and at some point. They're like, we got to get this bullet out of Adrian, or he's gonna die. And Anik, who, by the way,
very exciting. Like mind-blowing, mind fuck.
Revealed midway. I mean, do you care? Do people care to know this or not?
Spoil away. Yeah.
She's blind.
Yeah.
Anika's blind.
And so capable.
Yes.
And he notices because she's holding a stick, and he was like, "Wait a minute.
Yes.
This lady's blind."
But they don't tell you at the beginning.
They
it's
don't.
A brilliant reveal.
I was rereading it. Sorry, I'm gonna get to the point to let you read. But there were like times, like I was rereading the beginning where she escapes prison, helps the British spies, and and there were different like hints of like she felt around and she heard the footsteps. It was like 13 footsteps, and then so I was like, oh.
But it's like she's a spy. She's her senses are heightened. She knows how to listen for things or footsteps or whatever. Or
right.
She could tell he was holding something or not holding something versus what is. But
Whoa. Yeah.
But yeah, the reveal comes moments after the reveal.
Totally.
It's maybe a chapter or two after the reveal of her blindness. She volunteers to remove the bullet. She says, "Look, I've removed 1 million bullets in my day from French soldiers. Once you get into the wound, it's just a bunch of blood anyway, and you can't, and you have to basically dive around without being able to see anyway. So I'll remove the bullet." So this is a description that the author, Ms. Bourne, lays out here of the removal of this bullet, which I believe is a truly erotic description. I think I think that the intersection of the violence, what is this very violent act, with later on her descriptions of lovemaking are parallel.
Sure.
And and so in many ways I consider this to be one of the more erotic passages of the book. So I'm just going to read a little bit of it, and just to give the everyone a sample.
I'll fan myself while you read it.
So she's sort of digging around there, digging around. Warm blood streamed between her fingers. Push farther, grit on metal. Her quarry, open, soft, now, nibble it, the tiny slippery hardness, catch it, close the forceps. She's going for the bullet with the forceps. Yes, she had it. Bring it out. Fast now. She could go fast now. The patient held his breath, his muscles, neck, chest, arms, like steel. Next to her, a voice gave firm orders about a wall of darkness, solid as bricks. She dropped the ball in the palm of her hand and rolled it. The lead was flat, with impact against the rib. It wasn't smooth. A chunk was missing. She must return. She made a single unbroken motion of it, testing the bullet, going back in. She goes back in a few paragraphs down. She says, "Do not breathe," she ordered. The muscles beneath her hand were stone, quivering. The fragment rested directly against the artery. It pulsed. He must not move, not move. She eased forward. No pressure. She must take it without the least pressure. She closed the forceps and gently took hold and gently brought the last of the bullet out. She fitted one piece of metal with the other. There was nothing missing. It is done. She laid the forceps into the blanket, took bandages from her lap, and pressed them to the wound. "My God," Doyle muttered. The patient panted fast and shallow, hissed out through his teeth an animal sound.
Yeah.
I think it's very erotic.
It is erotic. Because, I feel like when I read these books and it gets to the sex scene, you know that the author is, in a different headspace of, oh, this is really where I got to prove myself. It's really where I got to show. And listening to you read it now, I felt that where it kind of was this is an important scene. It's just as important and erotic. There was blood slipping between her fingers. Yes. That's hella sexy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's and she's inside of a man. She's digging around inside of this man. Yeah. Inside, sinew and arteries and blood and all that stuff.
That's how sex works, I assume. Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty gnarly. I mean, and then what's interesting is that the descriptions of sex are a little bit more coded. Yeah. Later on in the book, but this is as graphic as you get.
Correct. Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe I'm fucked up. For thinking this is sexy.
I mean, it's weird because you have all this fucked up art all around here of death. So, cool. Well, I mean, I have 2 short scenes, and if there's another scene you want to read, totally.
Oh, sure. Maybe as we go on.
Okay, cool. Okay, so. Like you said, the first half of this book is essentially they're on this road trip. And, Robert Gray and Anik are falling for one another. The chemistry is there the second they meet. And so they reach this point where I believe it's French spies are about to like attack them, and Anique and Adrian, who she just saved, who isn't entirely like okay yet, Robert tells the two of them like, hide in this monastery and I'll come back and find you. But we are going to assume that Anique is going to slip away. So this is a moment where you think this is a goodbye. Let me find it. Okay. So Anique is walking down the carriage, and Gray says, "If you run, I'll track you down. I'll be damned annoyed when I find you." He tightened his hold. There's been no time. Whatever you've done. Oh, hell. His mouth was brutal as it closed over hers. We'll talk about this later. But she did not try to talk. She went mad for him. She found his hair, laced into it, and dragged him to her. She consumed him, mouth to mouth. She fought the awkward angles of their bodies, the lurching of the carriage, and went to him. She could not get close enough. She had 1 minute. Then he took her head between his hands, hard, and set the last kiss on her forehead. That's settled then. I'll be back. We'll finish this. I'm not letting you go. Wow. Okay. And then they do find each other again in the monastery. And Anique is making her escape. So she says her goodbye to Gray, but at the same time she ties him up so she can make her escape.
Yes.
And so she's talking to him as he's tied up, and he's like, don't do this. And then she says, Plato says that lovers are like two parts of an egg that fit together perfectly. Each half is made for the other, the single match to it. We are incomplete alone. Together we are whole. All men are seeking that other half of themselves. Do you remember? This isn't the goddamn time to talk about Plato. That made her smile. I think you are the other half of me. It was a great mix-up in heaven, a scandal. For you there was meant to be a pretty English schoolgirl in the city of Bath, and for me some fine Italian pastry cook in Palermo. But the cradles were switched somehow, and it all ended up like this, of an impossibility beyond words. Anique. Swiftly, softly, she leaned to him and covered his mouth and kissed him. It seemed to surprise him. I wish I had never met you, she whispered.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of writing. I really do think I marked that moment, that kind of mix-up in heaven moment, as a really wonderful little sentiment there.
Yeah, I think it kind of solidifies the main conflict of the book. It was an epic, beautiful, romantic scene, and one that has stuck with me.
Yeah, and it also speaks to the kind of the notion of setting it right. We got mixed up. We are star-crossed lovers, but we're going to set it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a wonderful theme throughout. I feel like there are many great romances.
Yeah,
this need to set right what has been, to get back to Eden, as it were.
Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah. So, what were some of your favorite parts of this story? Like specific moments or all together?
Well, I think that this is a commonality with most stories about spycraft, whether or not they're overtly romantic or not, is that you have, in this story, two, I think, very strong characters. I think Anique is a terrific character, and Gray is as well, maybe improbably so. They're both improbably incredible spies. Yeah. But there's, what I liked just thematically overall the most was the shifting of identity.
Yes.
Which is kind of a theme. Anique has some identity things, some surprises. She turns out to not be exactly where she's thinks she's from or whatever. But this sense that you are with a person, pursuing a person, they are playing a part, you're playing a part, which I think is a terrific metaphor for romance, love, relationships, everything in general.
Yeah.
In relationships and in pursuit, we all put on a face. We all play a part.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything new, but it applies. This is why I think most stories about confidence games and most espionage stories have an underlying romance or an underlying eroticism to them, because it's a kind of role play,
Yes,
and not in the way that like bored married couples role play or whatever to be exciting,
right?
But it is truly the role play of like, I can tell you're playing a part, and I want to get you in bed so that I can unravel who you actually are. And so that's a lot of what interplays. I guess as a general theme, that's what I liked about the story, is that it's about unraveling the spy role that each is playing to each other.
Yeah.
And Anika is a little bit more of a stronger character in the sense that she has more layers.
Oh, yeah.
Gray's a little bit of a flat.
Yeah, he was just kind of like the stud in the story a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, kind of, honestly, kind of like how female characters usually are in like a male protagonist kind of spy story, where in a way, like, there are times where Gray seduces her. Like, he's the seducer. And I thought that was like an interesting kind of role reversal, even though like there are times when Anik, says, I'm going to play the courtesan, now, which I thought was interesting.
What's interesting is that she's probably a virgin in the story.
She is, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to me because it's like she's a virgin, and yet she's been, like, I'm assuming, has had to play the spy as a as a courtesan at times or whatever. I mean,
it's interesting because there is a scene where she is seducing and she's like, I'm playing this role that I've played before. I have a feeling she seduces, and right before they get to the sex, that's when she snaps their neck or something.
Yeah. She
which
kind
is
of
interesting. Yeah,
preserves her precious virginity through all of that.
I mean, the worst part, just this looming threat of her being a whore after she fucks up this mission. And it's the worst thing.
It's the worst possible threat.
Yeah.
The scene, I won't even read this entire scene, or I won't even read it, but there is a scene, a love scene. This is after they've kind of been to bed a couple times. But there's sort of a pre-coital here, about to kind of get into it, and she's asking, he's asking her, who are you thinking of? Who are you thinking of? Are you thinking of this? Are you thinking of these other men? Are you thinking of a gypsy boy that you were with at one point? And she says, I'm only thinking of you, my Gray. I am not thinking of any gypsy boy, my Gray. Her voice was husky. I am thinking of no one but you. And she puts her arms around him, drew him close down beside her on the coverlet. She whispered soft in his ear wickedly, and Robert, of course. So he goes by two names. I probably didn't explain this right, but he goes by Gray, and he also goes by Robert. And so she's thinking of two men. Yes. She's like in love with two different men, two different identities. And this is kind of what I liked. Is this kind of a dual, this identity game,
Yeah, what was interesting is that, I love a good meet cute, and it seemed like, so she gets to London, she thinks she's safe, and suddenly along the way she can see again, because she originally couldn't see because she hit her head, and then she hits her head again, her sight comes back.
She's literally like it's like the old, like, she got kicked by a mule and she can speak.
And suddenly, look, what a miracle that she got hit on the right exact spot on her head that made her see it again. So she comes to London. The French spies that were after her have caught up with her, and there's a scuffle, and the person coming to her rescue is Gray. But then he realizes, oh, she can see again. She doesn't know what I look like, so I'm going to play a different guy, Robert.
Yes.
And he's going to take her to London where she can find. And that I thought was so great, because it was like, oh, we've got another meet cute again, and you see her fall for him again.
Yeah, almost like halfway through the book, they reset. The entire book resets.
Yeah. And I thought, what a clever plot device. There were so many clever plot points in this.
I gotta say, I don't know about anything about Joanna Bourne, but my guess is that she probably has aspirations or talents that lie just beyond this. I mean, in terms of being, because this is a kind of complicated book to write. I mean, it's not a super dense spy novel, but there is like some double crossing and stuff to figure out. So, so there's a cleverness here that I think is. I would be curious to see if she's ever tried anything outside of the romance genre.
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure she's like raking in the big bucks with the Spymaster stuff. But with a lot of other romance novels that I've read, I know how it's going to end. I know it's going to be a happily ever after. I knew that was going to happen in this book, but this book, more than any other book, kept me guessing, because I was like, how is she? They are both very loyal to their own countries. Like, how are they going to get together?
Yeah.
And so it did keep me guessing, which was kind of the this was one of the first books that I've read in a while where I was like, oh, I have no idea how
You thought they might not end up together?
It wasn't that I thought they wouldn't end up together. I just didn't think. I was like, how? How is this happily? I know that I know that there's going to be an HEA as the romance land.
What does that stand for?
Happily ever after.
Oh, okay.
But I was just like, who's going to give up their allegiance to their country? I have no idea.
Oh, well, yeah, because there was that added element of like who. I mean, in a way, it ties up in a way that's maybe too conveniently tidy. The HEA.
Yes.
The hay might have been my least favorite part of the story, only because I do like Doom. I would have liked to do some Doom at the end, especially with the impending Napoleonic War.
Yeah,
I would have liked a more, so maybe something darker or whatever, more of a sacrifice or something. But it tied up nicely.
Sure. I mean, I feel like if this were a movie and it was a tragic romance, I definitely would have preferred, that these two people had this love and, kind of like Casablanca, they had this love and it'll never happen again.
Yeah, that it's like maybe he has to make. If I was doing my pass, it would be he has to make a sacrifice or she has to make a sacrifice to keep the other one alive, and then they can't see each other again. Yeah. Or they have to, or they are going to get married and they are going to walk off away together, but they're going to walk into certain doom or certain death. Yeah, and here they seem to. It's sort of like, we're going to get married and then we're going to. I think the plan is to like go to India and be rich together in India or something.
Yeah,
which I was like,
they discussed that. I have a feeling that because this is a series, they're going to come back in and they're going to get in trouble again. They're going to. I mean, they'll be like side characters, but I don't know. I don't.
Also, they
them.
don't kill the main villain LeBlanc.
No.
Also, by the way, very smart. Joanna Bourne knows what she's doing.
Oh, sure.
She names the French villain LeBlanc.
Yeah.
And we all know who LeBlanc is. The second we hear the name LeBlanc, only one face comes to mind. And
it's Chandler.
Yeah. Of course. Chandler Bing. Yeah. We're seeing Chandler Bing's face. But this makes even early on scenes in the book, which are a little bit creepy. LeBlanc is a real creep, a rapist, a creep. There's that edge of you can't get too mad at Matt LeBlanc, if you're imagining him doing that. So it's she knows. Bourne is. Oh, she's a pro.
She's got the spy thing. She's got the spy thing down. What I mean, I know the Happily Ever After was, a little too convenient. Were there other things that you found a little ridiculous in the story or not believable?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, me too. I thought it was perfect. Word for word was perfect. Yeah. Great. The show's over.
Truly. I mean, this should be read as a history book.
Oh, yeah. There were some parts that I did have to look up. Because there was some point, like the invasion of where she grew up in. She was, I don't want to say, she was Rom.
Wales?
Right? Yeah, and I think
Rom,
there was some sort of invasion that really happened in real history that ruined her homeland or something.
Yeah, it's all written around, I think, real events, which some of them I knew, some of them I didn't. I don't know. I mean, honestly, for this kind of historical romance, this kind of bodice ripper, I don't have many complaints outside of the things that are just sort of fundamental to the form, which is okay, I kind of knew it was heading toward a marriage proposal, which I don't think
marriage.
I don't think these characters, especially these two crafty spies, should be. I do think that maybe Gray is a little bit of a dud. I mean, comparatively, he's a little bit duddy, compared to Anique, who is really a terrific. I can't say enough about just what a great character she is.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's my favorite heroine in a romance novel. I loved this book. I'm just kidding. Let me just say, I love this book so much. She's been my favorite heroine a long time. And I will say one of the reasons is that she's funny. She makes good jokes, and I think
she is funny.
Yeah, and there are other books that I've read where they make a joke and it's a bit of a groaner.
Her internal monologue, there's a moment early on where I forget exactly what it is, but she says, well, she was being her allegiance to France demanded this, demanded that, and it's something to the effect of it seemed like her French allegiance was always demanding things of her or whatever. But it's just little phrasings like that are I kind of almost not to get back on the idea that the Gray's a dud, but like Doyle and Adrian are like funny characters, and I was almost like, I kind of wish it was about one of these guys, you know.
Yeah,
just
I think the next book is Adrian's story. If you want to read the next, if you want to read the next book.
Oh my God, that's an offer too. I can't refuse.
Yeah, I feel like with Gray, like if he were my buddy, I would just be poking him all the time and just making fun of him. He just seems like that kind of person.
Yeah, just like kind of like, oh, I'm strong. So wait a minute, like because you've read a ton of these, like you think that Anik is? I mean, how does this character stack up? I mean, is she a rarity? Is for this genre? I mean, I'm kind of curious, like how?
Yeah, I mean, like. She is for me. I mean, and these are like I feel like with a lot of the historical ones, like it is kind of a copy of Pride and Prejudice a little bit, where the heroines, their only like strength is that they read or that they write. You know, they are kind of like, you know, kind of confined to the world they live in, which I don't want to disparage that, because I know that women do like that, or men and women and anyone who reads these books do like that. They do. This is their fantasy. I feel like with Anik, though, she was so cunning and so smart and just so quick on her feet, and it's something that I have not read in a while. Even with like modern day like spy romances that I read, like there was just so much thought put into her character of like seeing what she does outside of being a lover.
Sure.
Yeah, and that to me, like for me, like in this book, the spy story itself kind of was better than the love story a little bit.
Well, she's also something about that just occurred to me is that she's always, I mean, literally from page 1 to basically the last page, she's trying to get away.
Yeah,
she never. I mean, except in those like moments of erotic ecstasy where she's, you know, completely like can't see straight or whatever, like is giving over everything. She's like, she's always trying to get away from Gray. She's always trying to escape, almost to a point where you're like, why are you trying to escape? Like clearly you're safer where you are right now. And she, like, there's a part where she's kind of captured, or she's being held by the British intelligence, she escapes.
Yeah,
again,
she does.
She just tries to escape. She just likes to run. You know, but it's that kind. I don't know, that kind of doggedness. You know,
and she does have like a bigger, I feel like, internal conflict than maybe. I feel like, you know, in other books, maybe halfway through, you know, it's like, oh, I'm marrying him. You know, maybe I have to like, you know, stand up to my dad, and that's her like their last conflict, you know, of like, I'm marrying this man, bye, father. Like in this, she has an internal conflict up until that last moment when everything, you know, works out, which is again something that I haven't seen before, because you know, she does keep you questioning of, are these two people going to
She kept me questioning so much.
Yeah.
This is the one thing I'll give the book, is that...
Oh, you can spoil anything.
She left me questioning so much that at the end, or she left me questioning so much that at the end, when essentially she accepts this marriage proposal, I was like, you know what, though, if this book went on 3 more pages, she might, like, just run or something.
Sure,
or she might just be like, later, like, bye. Like, which I appreciated, is that she's that wily of a character that I'm like, oh... you know, this it kind of has to end right here, because you kind of have to end the story somewhere. But I'll bet you she's gonna be like, you know what, I'm out of here.
Yeah, totally.
Know?
There's something like where she marries him, and that's something that like helps her in the long run. Like, you know, when like 2 crime people get married so they don't have to testify against the other person. Yeah. It's like something like that, where she marries him for some sort of like convenience and some sort of scheme she's about to get herself into.
Yeah, and then he's like, that's why you did it? Yeah. And then like she's like, yes, and then he's like, damn, I love you, I still love you. Like that's kind of a great... Did you see the movie Allied?
No, I didn't.
You should see Allied.
Okay.
Allied's are really good. I recommend everyone, if you like spy romances. Allied's a great Robert Zemeckis movie.
Okay.
Brad Pitt and what's her name? Marion Cotillard.
Oh, okay.
Are a couple in spy couple in World War II, and at a certain point, it's called into question whether or not she is a Nazi spy.
Okay.
And you kind of spend a lot of the movie, you know, wondering if Brad Pitt's character spends a lot of the movie trying to figure out if she's spy. But it's a great movie, really underrated movie, I think, for the reason it has a lot of these themes in it about identity, but also it's about the fidelity of a marriage. It's about trust. You know, it's about all this stuff that's kind of spy stuff and not just a Mr. and Mrs. Smith kind of way is I think applies to a lot of relationship stuff.
Yeah. What's an example of how like spy stuff applies to relationship stuff? Like, is there like what's an example of like everyday life, you think?
Well, I think, I've never known a couple that didn't lie to each other on some level, whether about big things or small things. So it's, it's like I was saying a little bit before, like how when you meet a person, whether it is through, I don't know, whatever, the person that you are going to date or marry or whatever, you're definitely not presenting the real picture of yourself, and they're not presenting the real picture of themselves to you. So a lot of times you see it all the time, people on dates and bars or whatever, and it's literally two avatars that are meeting to be like, oh, well, okay, I'm this person and I'm that person. And so that's so many relationships begin on that level, and then the relationship becomes this drudgery of unpeeling and unraveling the actual identity of this partner that you share a bed with. And I can't help but feel that Spycraft has the same kind of unraveling happening throughout it, where you go, well, wait a minute, you're not, but I thought you said I thought you said you liked family. I thought you said you wanted a family. I thought you said, well, actually, no, I didn't want that. I didn't, and so it's
I just pictured, like, I actually thought you wanted a family, and then they go, I'm a Russian spy.
But I mean, if you're cheating on somebody,
right?
I mean, this is the ultimate thing. People get into the elaborate ways to cover up cheating. Which I think is, it's like people become spies essentially for in their own lives for this kind of stuff, behind all kinds of secrets. So secrecy is just part and parcel with being in relationships. I think for a lot of people, not everyone. Some people are just flat out. But I do think I want to just reemphasize though that I think it's erotic. I think that this notion is very erotic. I think that that's part of the reason people get into the game. That's part of the reason that you even pursue romance in the first place is to get to the core of somebody. That's a big part of life and romance, I think. I think if people immediately presented their entire selves, I, for one, lose interest. I think a lot of people just lose interest. So that's the whole thing. I get it.
We like a good mystery. And people are mysteries. What was your favorite romantic scene, and then your favorite sex scene in this book?
Well, the top half of the book has a lot of great scenes. In general, with these kinds of books, I think I'm a little bit more of a fan of the tension as opposed to the whatever the release.
Yes, agreed.
The top of the book has there's actually a really kind of fucked up scene where she's like on opium.
That was fucked up.
They like put opium in her coffee. They like drug her and put opium in her coffee. But she's kind of like going in and out of consciousness. But then she's like feeling, she's like, she woke up for a minute and like felt Robert's chest beneath her.
And she was trying to like sleep with him.
And she's like kind of trying to fuck him while she's like fucked up and everything. And it's kind of like, especially in light of like whatever, Cosby or whatever, it's like, no, this isn't like good.
Really fucked up.
But it's interesting. It's like an interesting scene. It's a dramatically interesting scene. I don't know if you would like. I don't know if it's right to find it erotic or whatever.
Yeah, but, I mean, I definitely didn't find it erotic. I didn't like. I mean, look, I know we all love Adrian. But I thought his jokes that he was making of like, oh, Robert, there she is. And I'm like, fuck you, Adrian. But the one thing I did like...
He's a troublemaker,
yeah,
Adrian.
That guy. He needs to learn, which he will in the second book, I'm sure. I did like that she like takes a sip of coffee and she's like, you drugged me, didn't you? And he was like, yeah. And there was this acceptance of like, oh, okay, this is part of the game. Like, obviously I know he didn't have, this was just to get rid of this threat that she
just
is.
To keep her from running away. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So there was some, like the transparency of it, I was appreciative, but oh God. And this is another thing that I don't like of like, I felt like the book was like, isn't Robert a gentleman? He didn't have his way with her while she was on opium. Like, this guy, what a great guy. And it's like, no, that's just like what status quo people should be like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little bit,
Yeah, that made me uncomfortable. And then also their first sex scene kind of made me a little uncomfortable.
I didn't love the first sex scene, and I read a little bit of the whatever reviews, and a lot of the reviews are like, great tub scene, love the tub scene, which is essentially their first sex scene is in a bathtub, and it's a weird scene where he's sort of more a seducer, or he's more like, okay, we're doing this now, and you can stop if you want, but we're doing this. I'm going to do this to you, and it's a little bit not. I don't know, for whatever reason, I was like, oh, this isn't so great.
It didn't feel like she had control in that scene, even though, like, towards the end, he's like, we don't have to do this if you don't want to. And it was clear, the author, I think, made it clear that she did want to, but I don't know. I just didn't like that, like, she's now imprisoned in this very nice house on Meeks Street in London, and there's just so much going on, and, like, suddenly she's, like, kind of interrogated, and then she's brought into the bathroom, and then they're having sex, and it's just like, whoa, like, we need to slow down. Like, let me put my bags down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just need to, like, decompress a little
she's
bit.
just been, like, just that morning, she was, like, two of the guys tried to kill her. Two of the French spies tried to kill her. I mean, it's a lot of, I don't know. It's like life moves fast in the spy world, I guess. And so you can maybe, like, if someone tried to kill you that morning, you probably wouldn't want to have sex later that day. Right. But for a spy, who knows? Maybe you would.
I mean, who knows?
But I had the same feeling. I was like, what? This is not now. We're gonna do this like this whole time. Now.
Yeah.
There's better sex scenes later on
for sure.
When they're in there's one. There's a few that are better later. There's you know what is a good one is after the LeBlanc's men come and shoot up the. Was it
house,
like the British house or whatever that she's staying in, and like immediately, like literally the page one of the chapter after like they're dodging these bullets, it's like, okay, the threat is clear, and then they sneak into the next room, and which is a rush and adrenaline kind of thing. The idea of like it's a very man on wire kind of moment or whatever. Like, all right, well, we just survived. All right, you and I, now we both know this is it. This is the juice or whatever that we need to. Exactly. So that's kind of like a nice. That was an interesting scene that you might not get in another book.
Yeah, I think like the final sex scene that might have been the same one that you were describing, but it was like the final one before she knew she was going to leave in the middle of the night. She was going to turn herself into Solier. I believe that's how
Solier.
Solier. Oh, Solier.
Solier, who you don't meet until like the last 20 pages of the book, basically.
Yeah. And he's like, and then there's another, I'm all over the place right now, but then there's the other character, Vauban. I'm going to say his name. Vauban, who is a character, but he's dead the whole book. And it's like, but they're constantly like bringing up his name, and he was like this important figure for.
Well, Vauban knew Maman. Which is the mother, Anik's mother, Maman. Maman. And Vauban, but there's so many lines that are like, Vauban taught her well. And, if she could just be back with Vauban.
Yeah, and it's like, who's this guy?
Yeah. But so you said there was one.
Before she goes to like turn herself into Solier, there's one final scene where they're in bed together, and he's talking about like what their life would like while they're like kissing and fooling around. Like he's talking about like the fantasy he had of like if he met her in England and she wasn't a spy, and like he met her on a field and she was wearing a green dress, and then she would make a joke of like, green, that's an ugly color, and he's like, just let me have my fantasy. And I don't know, I thought it was a sweet scene, and it was just like kind of epitomizes the tone of the book of like, will they or won't they love each other, but they're in this game that they can't escape. And so I thought it was a sweet scene.
They're in a tough, it's a cruel and dangerous game, the game of love.
The game of love. So I know your thoughts on the happily ever after. It was convenient, but were you as a reader happy that they ended up together?
I gotta say, maybe call me Scrooge McDuck, but I would have preferred this is just how I am. I just would have liked I would have liked it to feel unfulfilled. Yeah. But I completely understand that you got to fulfill everything at the end.
Yeah. I think if I were writing like my own novel or like my own movie, knowing that I'm not a romance writer, I would for sure keep them apart. But I feel like for which is the reason why I love these books, is like they get together. Life outside of these books is so complicated.
Let me ask you, like, do you encounter in this genre death? Do people die at the end? Do lovers ever die?
Not lovers.
No, so main lovers never die.
No, they never die.
So that was probably never going to happen.
No. Yeah. It's always. A lot of people think that if they don't get together in the end, it's not a romance. It's not even a romance novel. It's considered a tragedy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so a tragedy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want is a tragedy.
You want to read a tragedy.
Yes.
Like, Romeo and Juliet is a tragedy. Like, it's not, people don't, by people, I mean Nora Roberts. I saw her in an interview, and I'm literally quoting her. She's like, Romeo and Juliet isn't a romance, it's a tragedy.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with that. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who disagree, but I feel like just from the readers that I've encountered and just other novels I've read, it's like happily ever after is kind of the thing that makes it a romance. Mm-hmm. So
it's never with a Harlequin romance. It's never. We should never be crying. We should never be crying at the end, unless it's tears of joy.
Tears of joy,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, there is as I told you, there's HEA, happily ever after. There is HFN, which is happily for now. Now, so that could always mean that the end of the book is open-ended. They don't get together, but there is the idea of, like, in the next book they'll get together, or, you know, in a few books they'll get together. Mm-hmm. But there's never NHEA, not happily ever after.
Here's what I would have done if I could give a note. Is I would have said, well, you know, at the end they go to a park or whatever, and they're looking at, it's a beautiful scene. They're looking at the stars or whatever and planning their future. I would have added like a little bit of like, and then she reaches for the sack of rocks or something. It's just a little bit of, or whatever. She steals that guy's knife cane, and her hand grips around the knife cane. By the way, I like this book because there was a knife cane in it.
Oh, yeah, this was also the first knife cane I've encountered too, so I was very excited.
Oh, it's not my first, baby.
Well, you got to tell me all about knife canes now.
Oh, they're a threat. But I would have left a little bit of danger, a little bit of like, is she going to run again? It's happily ever after, but she's cunning. We're still on unsteady ground, and just leaving that little, I don't know, hint of something might have left it, to me, it might have made it sufficiently grounded in danger, you know, because I get uneasy with happily ever after in fiction and in life.
Yeah, well, in life I can't stand happily ever afters in life. I'm like, get away from me. I just want to read this in a fucking book. Don't be a book, be a human. Okay, so do you have any final thoughts and an overall rating for the book?
Well, I don't know. I think this is a great read.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am by no means, like I say, I'm not an expert on romance or anything like this. Romance novels. I don't know. I had a lot of fun reading it. You know, I'm sure we could have read any number of. There's all kinds of books in this historical romance genre. I mean, for what is essentially a genre I don't really have that great of a grasp on. I thought it went by fast.
Great.
And it was a terrific suspenseful read, and honestly, like, had some laughs and some nice insight. And Joanna Bourne is I think a very fine writer. Yeah, I don't know if I'll go deep into the Spymaster series, but I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll return. Yeah. And then the rating is 1 out of 5 or
A through F.
A through F. A through F. Well,
and rate it on. I know you haven't read other romances, but rate it on enjoyability, if that is a word. On
enjoyability, I mean, other than maybe like a handful of sluggish parts, I just enjoyed it so wholly. So I'll give it an A minus. Hard, whatever. Like you said, it's hard. It's hard as a rock, baby. It's hard. It's not hard as stainless steel, but it's hard as a rock. You know, you could, you could break a, I'm going to leave like an A+ for like a real hard, like the hardest of the hard.
Yeah, like carbon hard or something.
Yeah. But this is a rock.
This is a rock.
This is a hell of a book.
Yeah, I agree. I would have given this book a hard A+ if it wasn't for that bathtub scene and that opium stuff. It made me slightly uncomfortable. So it still gets a hard A, but because I thought this was the best book I've read in a really long time. I thought it was a great spy story as well as a great romance story. It was epic. I don't really describe a lot of romances as epic, but this one was epic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my review. I just enjoyed this book so much.
By the way, the book takes place like over the course of. It does feel epic, but it takes place over the course of a couple of days.
Yeah, I know.
It's not it's not a Dr. Zhivago type story.
Right.
It spans decades or something. I mean, it is really like a relatively contained story, but it's
but so much happens.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, is it like that in spy novels where like so much happens in a day? You know what I mean? Like
yeah. I mean, this is a very event-heavy book.
Right. Yeah.
I could feel it as I would pick it up and put it down. I was like, because I would be like, I got to finish this book, so I got to read tonight. I got to read 70 pages or whatever. And like by the time I would get through that 70 pages, I'm like, like 10 crazy things have happened. Within the 70 pages, but they all caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
You know, nothing was. I kind of thought she would get her sight back, like once she lost it, I was like, I should probably get it back.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. She can juggle. When she gets her sight back, she juggles. I don't know why. I just had to mention
her favorite. Her
favorite pastime is juggling.
She loves juggling so much.
Oh, and she juggles metaphorically too, if you think about it.
Oh, that's true.
It should have been called Juggler. the Spymaster's
Juggler. Also, I just have to say, title-wise, I don't know if this is the Spymaster's Lady.
Wasn't a good title.
Is like implies a. I mean, I haven't really been woke through any of this conversation, but not to get woke at the last second talking about the title. But I do think it's a little bit of a possessive. It's putting it too much on the Spymaster's possession of his lady when it's like that's not how I interpreted the story at all.
No, she wasn't a Spymaster's lady. Maybe it was just like a kind of ironic thing, like, oh, this is the Spymaster's lady, but just you wait, reader, or something like that.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, a little curveball.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, this was so much fun.
This is a lot of fun, and this is a great book. Thanks for recommending this book.
Sure. Thank you for reading it and being here and discussing it. This was such a pleasure for me.
It's been a great time. Thank you. And thank you, Joanna Bourne.
Thank you so much to Ryan Perez for being a guest today. You can follow him on Twitter at RyGuyPerez, and you can follow this podcast on Twitter and Instagram at TSTL Podcast for upcoming books and other thoughts that I just feel like sharing. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.